There's a movie playing in your head right now. It's loosely related to the real world, but it's not the real world. Some of it is based on observed fact. More of it is based on good hunches. And even more is based on wild imagination. But there is one thing it's not, even though you use this name for it. Reality. We know very little about the human brain right now, but we do know this. What we actually see on the outside isn't the outside world at all. You think that what you're looking at is what it is, but what you're actually seeing is a simulation of what is coming in through your senses. Huh? To help you understand, every now and then a crazy guy everyone calls the fool walks into Dave's favorite pub. He orders a pint, sits down, and out of the blue will ask the pub patrons really random questions like, the fool: Dave, my boy, describe to me the process of seeing. Dave: Seeing? You mean like with my eyes? The fool: that's a start. Dave: Well, I guess it must be like radar, right? I mean, we must shoot out some wave or something that bounces off things we look at, and then when it comes back, we see it. The fool: Not a bad theory, but most scientists believe it's the other way around. Dave: You mean that things bounce radar off us? The fool: Not things, light. Start with the light source. Dave: Ah, right. So light bounces off an object and then puts the image into our brain? The fool: You're half right. The light doesn't put the image into our brain. Light is only a carrier of information. Our eyes actually receive the information and send it to our brain. Our brain then constructs an interpretation of that data. It's like a replica of the data living inside your mind. Dave: So we're not really seeing what's there. The fool: Nope, it's a replica, and this replica can actually be distorted in many ways, and often is. Dave: Trippy. The fool: It gets trippier. Do you have a fish? Dave: No, fishes are for sissies. The fool: Dave, I know you have a fish. Anyway, your fish can actually see things you can't see. Dave: Shut up. The fool: Seriously, some fish can actually see in infrared. Dave: You mean like night vision goggles? The fool: I mean exactly like that, but hold on. Do you actually know what infrared is? Dave: Actually no. The fool: Well, you're probably familiar with the colors of the rainbow. There's a useful mnemonic for remembering them. Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Dave: You are a sissy. The fool: Shut up. Anyway, Roy G. Biv is only a small section of what they call the electromagnetic spectrum. If red were on the right, and you continue moving along, the next thing you'd have is infrared. Further along, you'd have microwaves. If you carried on to the end, you'd have radio waves and then long waves. On the opposite end, you'd have X-rays and gamma rays. What you see is only a tiny fraction of that, and your fish can see more of it than you. Dave: Damn. The fool: Exactly. Dave: Holy. Hey, that's why X-rays work, isn't it? We're seeing X-rays? The fool: Not bad, but not exactly. When you go to the doctor and see an X-ray of your body, you're not seeing in X-rays yourself, but you're seeing an interpretation of what the X-ray can see. It has to be translated into a form that we can see ourselves. Dave: Hey, what if we could see in microwaves? The fool: Now you're thinking. It's a good question. What if? So our visual replica of the world is actually only a tiny fraction of a much larger reality. To make matters worse, the actual process of seeing itself may in fact change the object that is being seen. This has to do with a phenomenon known as the observer effect. This phrase has a few varied meanings and interpretations, but the easiest way to look at it is this. To observe something in any way, you have to bounce something off it. As we learned from the fool, the act of seeing starts with light bouncing off the object into your eyes. Now, whatever light is, we know that it has an effect on objects it touches. Therefore, what you see has been changed in some way before it even hits your eyes. Does this hold true for every way of observing? As far as we know now, it does. Take an electron